Hello and welcome to our podcast, Pipeline to Profitability. I'm Alan Ferguson. This podcast is proudly sponsored by Success Academy. So today, I'm honoured to have Andy Hobaica join us for the second time round. Now, Andy's got an amazing, inspirational message to give to everyone. And Andy is one of the top performing HVAC sales technicians in the industry. And as well, he works with an amazing company led by his dad, Lou Hobaica from Hobaica Services. But today I want to really dig into mindset, inspiration, so that anyone that's out there right now that's finding, things are a little bit tough, get a listen to what Andy has to say, and I'm sure everyone will take something from this podcast that will help them to have a better day. Welcome to the podcast, Andy. Hello and welcome again. Today, for the second time, I have my man, Andy Hobaica, and Andy's been on this podcast before, and we touched on some mindset stuff, and I'd like to sort of dig into that a little bit deeper. So thanks for joining me again, Andy, and welcome. You might like to let everyone know what's happening in your life.
Hey, Alan, I really appreciate it. Me and Alan are good buddies. I really enjoy coming on the podcast. He invited me for the second time, and my answer was, fuck yeah, Alan, I'll be there. So me and Alan have pretty much the same type of personality. It's why we get along so well. And me and Alan both work on our positivity and mindset on a daily basis, right, Alan?
Yeah, I have been an advocate of that. We just touched on the David Goggins and the mindset, but look, I've always been a massive advocate of getting the mind right. Don't always get that right, but I've been, like I said, I've been following you for many years now, and I've watched how much you've evolved lately. So what's some mindset tips we can give to our, we've got plumbers, electricians, air conditioning technicians that listen. So what's a few things we can give them to get, to maybe get their mind into gear? And not everyone's going to be Andy Hobaica, but what's a few things we can, what's a few tips we can give our listeners just to maybe kick off their day strong?
Yeah, so this is a good one, Alan. I actually heard it in a training recently, and I wanted to, bring it up in the podcast today. I'm gonna bring you into it. So, as everyone knows, it's Red Shirt Friday. It has nothing to do with what I'm about to talk about, but hey, it's a red shirt, so you'll get it. Alan, the last week of your life, driving around, I don't care, it was into work, out of work, to the grocery store, wherever you went the last week, how many red cars did you see? How many red cars? How many are you positive of seeing? Like, you could guarantee you saw that one and that one. How many? You can't even think about it, right?
I can't even think about it, matey.
Yeah, so maybe a couple, right?
Yeah, there was a few. I'm sure there's a few out there. Usually, if you see a Ferrari or a
correct.
They stand out. But apart from that, no, haven't really been watching that.
Yeah, I completely understand, Alan. So, what if I told you this next week, starting Monday, so Monday through Friday next week, I was going to give you $100 for every red car that you spotted? Do you think you'd see a lot more red cars?
I'm with you now, all over it. We used to play a little game with my kids, yellow cars. So
yellow cars, right?
Me? Yeah.
So, when you're going your daily basis, you wake up, you do the normal routine, you go throughout your day. If you're not looking for those red cars, you're not going to see many of them. But if I gave you $100 for every red car that you spotted, you'd be looking out for that red car. So I like, turning that and saying, if you take the red car and you replace red car with opportunity, you wake up every single day and you look for the opportunities. Alan, everybody in life, they're driving by in their life every day and they're missing opportunities because they're right in front of them. They're not willing to go out there and get them. They're not willing to make that introduction. They're not willing to go up to that person and talk with them. Make a new friend, make a new connection. There's opportunities everywhere. People complain about work getting slow. Well, just open up your eyes and start looking for the opportunities and they'll come to you.
I freaking love that. So listen, one thing that I've observed over the years, we both follow the same people, and we talked about the cold showers and the ice baths, all the things to sort of get us going in the day. I think back to, my times when, we had, I had a lot of technicians working for me. It was probably got to about 70 at one point. And I used to love to, I love to help other contractors to succeed. I always have done. That's part of what's in me. But one thing I've learned is I can't motivate another person. Okay. And this is, when you grow a company, you think about, you've got technicians that their head's just not in the game. And, I can get out there and give everyone some tools, some things they need to do to get their head right. But what's some of the things that, you're leading, a dynamic team of technicians. So what's something that you suggest doing to help? I think anyone that's followed you for any amount of time knows that you can get yourself in a good mental state. That's why I love being around you, even if it's in a podcast or on a call, because you actually show me a way to sort of keep that inspiration up. So what's some of the things we can do to help our team to actually get a little bit more like Andy?
Well, not me personally, but me and along with my father, Lou, and my service manager, Chase, you sit down with the individuals. It's why you have so many reviews throughout the year, quarterly. Maybe if a technician is struggling, you want to bring him in and have a talk with him, or go out in the field and, meet with him like you do. And you really want to get personable with the technician, personable with the installer, personable with the comfort advisor. You want to meet with them. And, if you get on a personal level and find out their why. Now, you really have to find out their why and what's important to them. Maybe what's important to them is they want to buy this new car. Or, for me, my wife and kids at home, I want to make sure they have an even better life than I had growing up. That's my why. And you want to make sure that why is big enough to where they'll be able to do anything they can do to reach that why. You know as well as I do, if your why is not big enough, it's easy just to say, I'll do that later. It's not really worth it. If your why is big enough and you can really get personable with your employees and find out their why, man, they'll do anything and everything to create that why. And then, in the process, they'll be able to help you out and create a good atmosphere at work. But if you just go throughout your day and make sure someone's motivated and they want to make money and they're just another employee, they're going to act like another employee, like everybody else. But if you sat down with them and I said, hey, Alan, I see your numbers are dropping a little bit at work. Now, before we talk about that, I feel like there's something maybe going on in your personal life that maybe, it's not good. You overcome that objection and you basically open up and let them know that you're there for them. I'm not just your employer. I'm not just your boss. I want to help you. I want to be there for you. Is there anything I can do to make your life better? If you're performing better at work, it's going to help yourself. It's going to help me. It's going to help your family. I want to help you. So is there anything I can do to support you in that? And then when you get past that, you start creating that trust and that relationship with your employee. And then you look at them and you need to find out their why. And if you can create a big enough why, they'll work their ass off to get it because it's their why. You didn't come up with it, they did.
I love that. Look, that is important. Obviously, you've been following Simon Sinek as well, because he talks about the reason why you need a powerful why. And I think every company needs a powerful why and every individual. We used to help our technicians with goal setting. And a lot of people don't actually have a systematic approach to setting a goal. Very few people have their goals written down. They have a plan for their life. They're just reactive and just going along day to day. Something that I found helped is making it really simple for everyone to set a goal. First, you need to decide what the fuck do you want? The next is if it's monetary, well, let's work out how we're going to make that happen. One of the things I would always do was I'd use real estate as an example. You want to be wealthy, you want to find a way to get yourself leverage so you can get into real estate. And we used to break it down from 3-year goals down to 1-year goal to monthly goal to weekly, daily, and a per job goal. How much do I need to sell per job to actually hit my goal? And then what if I could actually sell more per job and earn more per job? They've got to know their costs and their budget and all that. But I find that was really helpful. But I'm guessing that's what successful companies like Hobaica do. I like it, like Hobaica. Is that right?
You like a Hobaica? Yeah.
Like
so, hey, Alan, I'd like to touch on what you just talked about. So I don't know if I've ever talked to you about it before, but how we do our goal setting, again, just like the why. If the employee's not coming up with the goal, they're not going to reach it. It's just another number that you want to hit so you can, get your top end revenue up. But basically, we take all of our technicians, all of our employees, and we do this twice a year. We put them in a room, and we basically get those big notepads that you can like stick, like the big pieces of paper that you can stick on the wall or the board. And we have them write down things they can do to get to the goal that they want. So how much money do you want to make this year, Alan? You made 60 grand last year. Do you want to make 100 grand this year? I can make that happen, and I can support you in it. What's going to take to get to your new $100,000 goal? What's going to take? And then when you hit that $100,000 goal, what's that going to do to your life? How does that change your why? How does that support that? You really make it big for them. And they put it on the board. You know what? I think I can sell or I can promote 3 duct cleanings a week. Great, 3 duct cleanings. There's a $25 spiff. So that's an extra $75 a week for them going in their pocket. Under that, I can probably promote insulation to every single person, and maybe one person buys a week. One person, they get $100 for that or whatever. And you list it all the way down, all these spiffs. And I'll be honest, if they're willing to take, take it for granted and actually do what they say they're going to do, you add up all the numbers, and that equals like 160 grand for the following year. So they can see it right there, and it's plain and simple, right in front of them, saying, "Wow, I could half-ass this, and I'll still hit my $100,000 goal." So you really make it easy for them to see the numbers and see how easy it is to give themselves a raise, make more money, and then the why just becomes that much easier.
I love it. That no, you're right. It's important that our team member sets their own goal. Look, I like to use an example, like I said, real estate, because to buy real estate in Sydney, Australia, it's 5-10 times more expensive than it is in most cities in the US, and it was a big goal, and I believe that everyone should have a big goal. But even if, some of my guys might have just been, they might have wanted a new car, they might have wanted a new motorbike or whatever it is, I don't really care. I just want you to apply the teachings to your goal. But that's really important, Andy, is the why and how to do it. And yes, I suppose you're right. As a business owner, we know that if our team are motivated, switched on, they believe in the company, they believe in the price, and everything's good for them, they'll hit their goals, and the company will hit the company then hits goals as well. So with you being the motivated type of person you are, and I know it doesn't come natural for many people. It may be 1/1,000,000% of the population are just naturally like. Maybe you are one of those, you fit into that small minority, but I'm guessing with you, it's not just, you don't just wake up and be motivated. You have some daily routines, some habits that you do. I'd like to probably dig into that so that everyone that listening realizes that I'd like to think that you're special, but maybe you're just doing special things, if that makes sense.
So Alan, I am special. I'm a fucking Hobaica. we talked about that before, dude. So real quick before we go on about the why I am who I am, what kind of means that as well. My dad growing up, man, Lou. So Lou would tell us as kids, I don't care if you're sick, you're not feeling well, you're hurt, you fucking wake up and do what you got to do because you're a Hobaica. If you're not willing to do that shit, you might as well change your name because you're going to embarrass my name. My name doesn't give a fuck. We get shit done. Now, he wouldn't cuss like that, but at the end of the day, he got his point across that Hobaicas don't make excuses. They don't get hurt. They don't get sick. You go to work and you get it done. Now, if you're sick, wake up, take some vitamins, take some Dayquil, maybe get some caffeine in you, take some aspirin and move on. Because if you don't go to work, how many people are you letting down? How many people are you going to make sure that their job's that much worse that day because you didn't show up? So I've had that mindset my entire life, and it's really helped me be motivated. But no, I am not a superhuman, Alan, even though some days I am, like right now. I wake up every day, and you'll hear these gurus on social media. I wake up every day and I feel amazing. Yeah, bullshit. At the end of the day, most of the time I wake up, I don't want to be awake, Alan, but it all starts with that morning routine, setting your phone on your dresser so you actually have to get out of bed and turn off the snooze button. You'll think about, do I want to be a pussy and walk back to bed, or do I want to just wake up? Or you talk yourself out of that by drinking that water. You down the water, you go and wash your face, go to bed after that. You won't go to bed. Your mind's going to be alive and awake. But no, I do not want to wake up at 3:15 every morning like I do, but I just do it. But a good one for me is having someone that is counting on you, because I don't like letting people down. That's my number one thing. If I let someone down, it'll ruin my whole day. So I have 2-3 buddies that I meet at the gym every single morning at 4 a.m. sharp. If I don't show up, I'm going to get text messages that says, "Where you at, pussy?" So one, I don't want to let someone down. I don't want to look like a loser. And I think it's an insecurity of mine, because my whole life, the only thing I didn't want to do, I could do anything. I could fuck up in anything. I didn't want to let my dad down. And if I let my dad down, man, I was at the bottom, just sink into a pit kind of feeling. And I hated that feeling. So even though me and my dad are best friends now, and I know he's proud of me, I kind of deal with that same situation through life. I don't want to let others down, and I don't want others to see me weak. So with a grain of salt, you can show your weaknesses, but I just try to give 100% every day. Just like, I put my pin on every morning going 100%. You know what, Alan, I got to get you one of these pins. I'm going to mail you one.
Are you going to Service World?
I'm speaking at Service World.
Well, there you go. You can bring it along. I'll
bring it along.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm
giving a breakout session, PowerPoint, kind of change it up a little bit at Service World, how to sell 5 million and beyond every year. And I think it's like a 45-minute session. It's actually funny. I'm giving my talk, and then 15 minutes later, Jim Hinshaw's giving his. So nice. Jim's like, "I'm gonna have to catch the beginning of yours and then run off to my talk." He's funny.
They're a good bunch of people in Service Nation. I yes. have been very close with those guys for many years, and it's that. Well, that's how I met Lou, through Service Nation, Service Roundtable, many years ago, and that's how I got connected with you. So it's a small world, and it's funny how we meet. So again, I want to get back in mindset. Now, you're someone that is very driven. You have daily routines. I think we've just covered it doesn't come natural, and it's funny. This is crazy. I've met some really dynamic people over the years that they're on stage. They are just like, holy shit. Like Tony Robbins' son, and there's been quite a few. Met some serious players along the years, and then off stage they're completely different, and it's like, holy shit, like what you do on stage and what you do off stage is different. But I'm guessing with you're much the same on stage and off stage, and I've picked that up. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm not. But what I'd like to go into,
Alan, I'm Andy Hobaica 100% of the time, no matter who's looking, who's watching. This is me.
I love it. It's that's amazing. So we can't motivate others, okay? And that's a fact. We have to work on ourselves 100%. We got to get our own minds right. But I'm guessing that those that you closely associate with, stay a little bit of Andy Hobaica rubs off on them. And I'm guessing that goes with your team as well. And I believe that, when you're hanging around with someone all the time, it's hard not to do that. So what, for those out there listening that, they're struggling with whatever, and they haven't got the drive that you have, and it's very rare to come across people that like have your drive all the time. and looking forward to meeting you at Service World. But so what's some of the other things that, you know, anyone that's listening there, you know, they've got we've all got shit in our life. I mean, some have more than others, but everyone's got something that's going to drag them down. And look, one of the things that I used to do in my companies was pre-call, get your mind right. Stop thinking about, you might be going into Ferguson or a place that is not probably the greatest of suburbs, you know, to service. You might be going to a type of ethnic that you really don't. Yeah, I mean, there's different types of ethnicities. There's different suburbs, and you know, we can take what, you know, the experience from bad call, and we can bring that, and we can what's the word I'm looking for? Prejudge. So I used to say, right, I don't care what's happened in the past. All I care about is that your call, no matter where it is, no matter what their name is, you're going to get your mindset right, and you need to work on that. That is so important, because you can prejudge the call, and you can go to the call, and it can go exactly the way your mind tells you it's going to go. So I know this is somewhere where you are strong. So maybe that might be a good way to maybe finish off the podcast today with mindset and how does Andy do it?
Yeah. So we'll start with what you just said about getting your mindset right and not prejudging a call. Especially every salesperson, but technicians do it too. You prejudge, because I used to do this. You'd walk up to a house, and you know, if you walk up to a house and it's a couple $1 million house, they're an existing customer, they've bought something from your company before, it's a slam dunk. Like, it's easy. Create a relationship. They give you a check and you're good to go. It's nice and easy. Well, you used to prejudge. You'd walk up to a house that's just run down, or they're not taking care of their car out front, and you know, they haven't mowed their lawn in years, and it's like, man, this sucks. I used to feel that way. Not anymore, Alan, for a few different reasons. One, I never prejudge anything. Okay, nothing anymore. This is how I run my life, and I'll tell you why. But I don't prejudge because of my past stuff I've done, to where I have tried to prejudge. I go into the home and I'm like, man, this person ain't gonna buy shit. And then at the end of the day, that person spends more money than the multimillionaire I spent with last week, because that person cares about their comfort. They might not care about anything else, but they do care about their comfort and their health. They care about filtration. They care about, you know, filtration, UV, all the extra stuff. And, you know, and then at the end of the day, the reason why their house looks like shit is because they save all their money and they pay the $30,000 bill in cash.
I love that. And look, I've got very similar stories to share. Some of the biggest sales we ever made in our business was from suburbs where you're going, they don't have much money there. Well, that was, you know, that was never my mindset, because I knew we had good information on all the suburbs, and it wasn't the suburbs where the average median price is 15 million. It was the suburbs where the median price was less than $1 million. And you know, it's just a different demographic. And
so Alan, on the prices, real quick, I just got to give this shout out. So like, we'll go to a $50 million home, you know, where the guy's a multimillionaire. But like, I'm telling you, some of my biggest residential sales is from a home that's worth 120 grand, and the income of the neighborhood's $40,000 a year, and they buy a $40,000 system because they saved their life savings to get what they wanted.
I'm with you. And look, we found hoarders. You go into, I don't know how many homes you've been into where you can't actually get in the home because it's just like the place is like, holy shit, what happened? And then, the tech calls me and say, look, they've gone ahead with everything we put forward. You know, they need their drains fixed. And, you know, we've had sales over $100,000 for properties that are worth more than 100, because, as I said, real estate prices in Australia are pretty crazy. But this is where the mindset and not prejudging the call. I think out of today's podcast, I think that's probably one of the most powerful lessons that we can give to everyone is to find a way as managers, as owners. You got to find a way to find your technicians. Why? Spend time on this, helping them to see that maybe 15 minutes on the way to the call, 30, let's say it's 30 minutes away. Spend that time rather than listening to all the doom and gloom in the world. You've only got to tune into like CNN or something, mainstream media. Spend time listening to an Andy Hobaica podcast or something that's going to get your mind right, and then
1,000%
set a vision in your head about how good the call's going to be. This is going to be the best call of my life, and just see what happens. So that's probably where I want to go with this. And back to you, Andy. And I know you'll have a really cool book recommendation or something, maybe something that is going to get the mindset right of everyone that's listening today. So I'll hand it back to you, my man. And as well, you can share anything you like, contact details, promote you. And this is about promoting you and what you're about, so that everyone can get to know you a bit more, like I am.
No, yeah, I appreciate that, Alan. And the thing is what I do on the way to a call, like we've discussed before, is I call when I'm on the way, stop by, get him a drink, the whole thing we talked about. But on the way to the call, I'm either listening to a podcast or I'm listening to an audiobook, because one, it's going to get me in the right mindset. It's going to keep me motivated. It's going to keep me in a good mood versus listening to what Joe Biden, how he's fucking up the world today. I don't really care.
God.
I don't really care, because no matter.
I say don't mention that fucking name. Like my mindset is so friggin' negative now.
Yeah.
After you saying that.
Yeah. I know. It's all good. We'll get past it, because we don't have to focus on that. Because hey, Alan, I don't care who the president is. I don't care who's running the country. My life stays the same, because Andy's fucking in charge of his own life. So I'm driving to my call. I'm listening to something positive, something that's going to motivate myself, something that's going to remind me, oh shit, you know what? I haven't done that for a while. I'm going to try that today. I'm going to try it on my next call. I arrive at every single RFQ or sales call or any call. I'm going to meet someone about 5 minutes earlier than I should be there, or 10 minutes. I park around the corner. I look in the mirror. I get in the right mindset, and I assume the sale. This customer is going to love what you have to say. You're going to give 100% of Andy, and you're going to close the customer because they're going to believe in what you have to do. So if you get in that right mindset and you look into the mirror and you stay happy, you stay motivated, you stay positive, it'll come off to your customer. They'll feel it. But Alan, like they say, the top 5 people that you hang out with is who you're going to become in 5 years. It's the same as what you listen to, is the same as what you watch. I don't care if you watch, television, you stream Netflix before bed, the radio stations you listen to, the podcasts you watch, the crap you look at it on Instagram, the stuff that you're feeding your mind, your ears, is who you're going to become. Go watch something super negative on Instagram and see how you act 10 minutes later. You're probably going to get in an argument with your wife. It's because of the shit you're watching. It's negative and it's bullshit. I don't like it. It's like my wife, man. She really likes those drama shows, right? And women love drama, so it's great. You can watch that shit. But I'll tell you right now, she'll watch it in the morning, and I try not to even go into that room, because I don't want to be around that crap. A bunch of ladies screaming at each other about a bunch of bullshit. And I just don't want to be in that mindset. I want to be happy, and I want to jump on and listen to Alan in the morning so I can get motivated and get on without my day. I get home from the gym. I take my dogs for a walk. I write down all my daily goals, right? So I write down all my daily goals, what I'm going to accomplish today. And then I write down my weekly and yearly, and I remind myself what my goals are. And then something I do to stay in a positive, happy mood is I do my 5 random calls. I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but what I do is I get into my phone, and I find 5 people that I haven't talked with in maybe 6 months to a year. And I call or text them and say, hey, good morning, Andy here. Haven't talked to you in a while. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If there's anything going on in your life that I can help you out with, I can support you with, let me know and reach out, because I'd love to help you. And these people are like, holy crap, like Andy hasn't talked to me in years or months or whatever. It really makes that connection. You never know what's going to happen. Maybe that person's like, wow, you know what? I had a referral for Andy the other day. That person wanted a new AC unit. I totally forgot about it. Like you never know what's going to happen. Or that person's really depressed. They're on the brink of suicide, and you had no freaking idea. You're just reaching out to a random person in your life that you haven't talked to in a while. You never know what that conversation is going to do to that person. So that's what I like doing every morning, Alan. Hey, before I finish talking, so 2 books I recommend for everybody. that I had recently finished a couple weeks ago. So do you follow Ed Mylett?
I most certainly do.
Okay, so he has the Max Out Your Life. It's been around for a long time. I've listened to it twice. And then he just recently, about 6 months ago, came out with The Power of One More.
Yeah.
It's an amazing audio. He reads it himself. I recommend the audio just so you can listen to him, but really powerful. I love the book. The Power of One More. Recommend everyone to listen to it.
Thanks for that recommendation. Yeah, I've been following Ed for quite a few years. I don't know, probably 7, 8 years, however long now. But someone else that I've been following, and this is around your comment on Ed Mylett, there's a fellow by the name of Dr. Ben Hardy, who was on the Ed Mylett podcast just recently. There's a guy, mindset, amazing, goal setting.
I'll have to look him up.
I recommend, search out the podcast between Ed Mylett, Dr. Benjamin Hardy. That is a game changer. So thanks, Andy. And if anyone wants to get in contact with you, how do they do so?
The easiest way, social media. So Instagram and Facebook. If they add me on Instagram or Facebook, just Andy Hobaica, both platforms. You can DM me. I love answering questions. I'll jump on a Zoom call with you. Maybe there's some insight I can add to your life. Maybe there's something I can do to make your life happier, your goals better. And you know what? It's free of charge, because there's nothing I love doing more than waking up, putting a smile on someone's face and helping them.
Fantastic. Thanks again. So thanks everyone for joining us on the podcast Pipeline to Profitability, sponsored by Success Academy. And you're an amazing man. Love you, brother. And all the best to you. Look forward to seeing you in Service World.
Thanks, Alan. Love you too, brother. Have a great day.
Cheers, matey.